really landed, and just accept that support. Now, I'm going to share with you the temple. So this is a picture from a year or two ago at the Temple of the Seven Chakras. And we've been here for 3 years and not been able to do the ceremony. The first year I didn't know about it, and because they open at 5 and then they close at 5:30, and if you're not in, you don't get to go. We arrived at 8 or 7:30 or something. So and so I have never experienced this as an ancient Mayan temple. Currently, it's I think the oldest, or one of the oldest ones they've discovered here in the Yucatan. It's only an hour from me. It's near the tip, near the Gulf, and there's not a lot left on it. You can see there's not a lot of decoration left. There's a few chalk rain god, abundance gods. Christian talked about those at our ceremony. Faces on the corner and above there. However, what they do know is that this is designed for the equinoxes. So when the equinox comes, the sun rises. So here is when we arrived. Well, it was pitch dark when we arrived. You could not see. You have to walk a fair distance to get to the temple. So when we entered, this is the crescent moon, even though you can't really see the crescentness of it. And straight above the temple was Orion, the Orion Stargate, the Pleiades. It was unbelievably gorgeous, okay, serene. So we were surrounded by jungle on the sacred site, other sacred temples on the other end. And you walk for a long ways with this temple at the end of this long causeway. The little light you see on the right is Chris. It's his camera, actually. And these are, they're not correct. Okay. I didn't put them in order. Bummer. Okay. Well, there's a picture with Chris that you can see. No, okay, I guess I didn't put it there. I thought it was humorous because I took a picture like that with no flash, and then I took a picture with a flash, and you could see Chris standing there with his phone. So obviously the setting was serene and gorgeous, and as the sun was getting brighter and brighter, you'd start to actually see the temple, and you need to start back ways from the temple for the first initiation. The sun first comes up. This is a stele. It's a little ways out from it. This is carved with a lot of Mayan glyphs and symbols and had specific spiritual symbolism, and is part of the initiation to be between you and the temple. There you can see the crescent moon up on the top, the stela, and the temple starting to glow. As it was crystal clear when we got there in the dark, and as the light started to dawn, the mist came, and then we became completely surrounded in mist. And you can see it gave it, again, this even more otherworldly quality. Now you can see in this picture how the light is going up on two sides out of it. It's very interesting in colors and waves. And the mist is quite pronounced. You can see the buildings in front of the temple. There's a plant on top of the temple that looks like a butterfly to me. I thought that was kind of cute. So then as the sun starts to come up bit by bit a little more, it starts to glow. The door in the center glows more. See, it looks like it's going on fire even more. I was like, oh my gosh. So then we went from being right up there back here to receive the first initiation. They allow only 250 people in, and it was a very lovely group of people. The park rangers were really generous, helping us to know exactly where to stand. And then they told us about how every 11 minutes you move forward and you do receive it again. So there you can actually see the sun. You can see the outline of the sun. And I'll tell you the most stunning thing about this, I'm going to start to cry, is that I stared at that sun for a very long time, through the first initiation, and then we moved forward and it happened again. And then you move forward and you see it again because you keep changing your until you get very close to the temple, and you can keep seeing it pass up through this portal. The portal definitely changes the energy. Bar none, there's no question in my mind that the light and the energy is transformed moving through this temple. How, what exactly, we don't know, but it felt different and it never hurt my eyes. And I kept saying, I can see the sun. I can see the outline of the sun. Quite amazing. And here you can see how it's starting to glow. This is some different angles, not directly, but you can see the light actually emanating out of the two little windows in the door. And this is one of my peak photos. You can see the sun perfectly behind it. It creates wings. You can see the different layers of the light and the energy around it, out orange, glowing through all three of these portals. It was an extremely transcendent experience. So the sun energy, we can't just stare at the sun in the middle of the day or even after the first minute of sunrise. But with this temple here, it was designed to give us an opportunity to be able to receive, to see, and to receive the energy of the sun, not just through our eyes, in so many dimensions, in so many senses, in so many ways. Very transcendent, very ethereal. Just beautiful thing about photography now is it captures the energy, so you can really feel this and receive this. So I had many different experiences each time. Unfortunately, I didn't have the site to myself, and I couldn't just sit there and meditate through the whole thing. Um, However, people were lovely and wonderful. We became a very close family afterwards. You know, sort of almost laughing and talking, and we were all joy, like we had crossed this thing ourselves. So the Maya used the site as an initiation site for their initiates who were learning the, the truth of the world, the spiritual secrets, and how these things work. And so twice a year you could come and get this. I didn't know until we were there that you have 7 or maybe more, but different initiations while during the one thing. I had a lot of orange energies, symbols, movement, um, not psychedelic, but like just this kind of almost paisley feeling to it, different levels, and then it would go be across my head, like a half of a circle, and then it would sink in, and then another wave would come. It was extremely transcendent. If I had been able to just sit quietly, I would have been so far away. So as we got closer, you can see how close we are now. There was a very different experience. And this is when you started to see a lot of other dimensions and light beings. I love this one in particular because the third eye is right up there on the top of the temple. And there's layers. You see these layers and layers and layers of color. This is just a sample of how this temple deciphers the sunlight and refracts it into a way that you can receive. So look at all of these incredible, I get always these incredible light beings. You can see the light coming up across the top here on the corner and across here. It's palpable light. Very interesting. Again, you've got this little eye and the being, and we've become almost a what is that, a dodecahedron shape. And then I just started to zoom in to see what energies that I could uh, discover. Whoops. so, so that was that, and it was quite phenomenal. The last thing I'll share with you is thought we were going to have a little transition there. Is our ceremony we had on Friday here. So Christian and VNA, his wife, and our owl and our jaguar came over. They stayed with us. It was an incredible experience. I feel incredibly honored to get to know these people. I met Christian, he's Aztec, when I lived in Playa, and I started doing retreats and finding people who did sacred ceremonies and cacao ceremonies. And over the years, 6 years now, and in a week that we've been here on the Yucatan, and become a dear friend. Has done a lot of ceremonies for us, and it was just incredible. Power animal, spirit guides. You see, we have the jaguar, the owl, and they did dances, explained to us some of the symbolism, gave us some of the stories, and dedicated my house to Ishel, who is a Mayan goddess of the medicine, moon, rain, women, fertility, abundance. Her power animal is the rabbit. Here you see VNA sitting on the chair on the bottom right, and that drum that she's about to play is an eagle and a alligator, one on either side. Right behind the eagle is one of my carvings of Ishel. It was very, very moving. Then if you look at the altar, there's the jade mask, and on either side is a statue of Ishel. She's often represented as the sage or the crone, the older lady there. She's pouring this moonlight. She's a goddess of the moon, down on you, light, enlightenment, sacred, loving energy. She's enlightened with the snake on her head. It means that she's mastered her third eye, and she's mastered manifestation, and she's extremely loving. Isn't this incredible? Incredible. And that's my eShell carving in my next to my pool, where we finally just got some plants. There she's a maiden holding the lotus flower. So you'll always notice a lot of similarities between the Maya and the Egyptians. The lotus, the snake on the head. They most ancient cultures had the similar symbols to represent awakening, enlightenment, the sun. So you can still purchase this. It's only $44. You can watch it for 6 months. You get all the videos of the ceremony, the pictures, the Mayan prayer of the seven directions, and I'm just so blessed to get to do this. This fills me up, and then I get to share this, and I get to share them, their culture, and what they have. And there's my home. And there's our beautiful altar and our turtles, our baby turtle nest, which was out there by the ocean, hatched this night after we did the ceremony. I did not see them, but they did hatch that night. And I thought that was a major blessing, having them in the land, being the womb for these baby turtles when we had our blessing and our ceremony through the equinox. So it was just perfect. Everything felt very, very perfect.